Oh, welcome back. So, you don't understand the Hunger Games. Well, that's no problem because I'm here to motherfucking help you. But before you listen to me talk about this shit, there are motherfucking spoilers. Alright, I just saw the movie this weekend. It was a good movie. I don't want people to think I'm bashing it, comparing it to the book. Believe it or not, The Hunger Games is a great book adaptation, of a movie. I've seen worse. All right, it's not perfect because nothing's gonna be perfect because the book allows you to see more into the story and all types of shit like that. I mean, even Game of Thrones isn't perfect because there's shit in the story of Fire and Ice that doesn't make it to the show because they can't do everything and because they have limitations. They have actors who can't do incredible feats and all that shit, and it's a fantasy novel, so it's not perfect. Everything that happened in the book isn't in the movie, but it's very, very good. It's very entertaining, and I liked it. As someone who's finished all three books, I fucking loved it. I did. They did a good job. Jennifer Lawrence, on the other hand, Jennifer Lawrence was okay. She was okay, Katniss. Um, the one thing I say is Jennifer Lawrence isn't really good at like expressing her emotions through facial, through her through facial expressions or anything. But she's all right. She did okay. The only problem is like it seems like when like emotional stuff is supposed to happen to the character, Jennifer Lawrence kind of makes this constipated face, and it's weird. It's really freaking me out. I'm like, why is she making that face? Does she have to go to the bathroom? She's supposed to be hungry and tired, but she looks like she needs to take a shit, and that's just weird. And plus, Jennifer Lawrence is fucking huge. Like I had to Google how tall this bitch was because like I'm taller than Jennifer Lawrence, but she looks huge on screen. Like not just because I saw it in IMAX, but she's so much bigger than the rest of the cast. It's like no shit, she won the fucking Hunger Games. She is a monster. But listen, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. And if you haven't seen it or read the book, don't listen to this commentary because I'm gonna fuck up some shit for you. So spoiler alert. Let's get into this shit. First of all, it was a real good movie adaptation. They hit a lot of the shit, a lot of the nails on the head, and they got a lot of things right. But they skipped some real pivotal things. So if a lot of you are confused as to what the fuck is going on in the Hunger Games, why are these people doing this and doing that, I'm gonna fucking tell you. First of all, the Hunger Games is a setup for a trilogy. Basically, the Hunger Games is the beginning of a revolution. The Capitol keeps a grip on everybody by not allowing them to show any sort of defiance. Basically, what Katniss did in the Hunger Games by winning, by threatening to commit suicide, shows people that they can fight against the fucking Capitol. Katniss doesn't know this because there's no uprisings in her district. Other districts, on the other hand, have a shitload of uprisings. So, and the movie doesn't really tell you that. But in the book, Katniss tells you that because half of the damn thing is in her head. There's a lot of like just dead time in the movie where you were like wondering what the fuck's going on. But if you read the book, you would know that Katniss is thinking about this and talking about that and blah blah blah. They glossed over a lot of the shit that has to do with Katniss's father. They also, for example, Katniss's father could sing, and as the book describes it, he could sing so well that the birds would stop and listen. Katniss also has that ability, which is very important because there's a very pivotal death scene that the movie just skipped over. Well, it didn't skip it. It had the death scene, but in the book, it was pretty much mind blowing. In the movie, it was ho hum. If you don't know what that death scene is, it's the death of Rue. Rue is one of the characters who actually became Katniss's ally. Allies, kind of form in the Hunger Games because people want to stay alive a little bit longer, even though sooner or later they have to kill each other because, only one survivor. But Rue was Katniss's ally. Rue liked Katniss. Katniss helped Rue get some food and hunt, and, Katniss liked Rue, and they got along pretty well. Basically what happens when she dies, what's supposed to happen is Katniss is supposed to sing to her and then cover her body in flowers, because she misses her and blah blah blah. They had a cool connection. They liked each other. What happened was Jennifer Lawrence hummed a few bars and threw some flowers on her. The flower arrangement part was pretty good. The singing part wasn't because basically, according to the book, Katniss can sing like fucking Adele, and I kind of understand why Jennifer Lawrence didn't just really show up and just give an Oscar winning performance and no shit like that or Grammy winning performance, but that makes sense. Like Jennifer Lawrence isn't a fucking singer, so you can't expect her to do the shit that the character Katniss can do in the book. So that's not too bad. But the death scene should have been way, way better. It should have been way more engrossing because in the book it was very engrossing, and honestly, it was sad. Like it was really fucking sad when Rue died. So, they kind of fucked that up, but shit happens. You can't win every battle. But other than that, a lot of people complaining that Katniss spent a lot of time like in a tree. Well, let me explain something. This is the Hunger Games. It's not Battle Royale. It is not. Do not get this twisted. It is not Battle Royale. The Hunger Games is about survival. It's kind of like, a Survivor reality show, except real. Like, they will starve you to death. Like, real talk. It's called the Hunger Games because you're fucking hungry. Like, the damn games will starve you to death. They don't give a fuck. Alright, the killing aspect is just something to help things along quicker. Basically, what it is, Katniss is one of the few people who knows how to hunt and who knows how to survive in the woods. That's why she won. It's not because she killed everybody. She won because she knows how to fucking survive in the woods, and the other people just don't. The careers don't know how to survive, and neither do most of the tributes, unless they were lucky enough to have to hunt for food every goddamn day like Katniss did. But most of them were not that lucky. So, for the people wondering, like, why the fuck was Katniss in the tree the whole time? Well, that's how she survived. It's not about fighting to the death. It's about surviving and outlasting every other tribute. For the people who didn't get that, well, now you understand it. It's called the Hunger Games. And there's a very pivotal scene that they also fucked up, where she says, well, in the book she says, now let the Hunger Games really begin. And it's when she blows up the careers food. If you don't know who the careers are, it's the badass tributes. Basically what careers are their tributes who are trained from day one of their fucking birth to be in the Hunger Games. There's no doubt that they don't get picked. They volunteer to be in the Hunger Games. Careers usually win. What careers do is they start the game off by killing most of the weaker tributes. They take all the food and keep it for themselves. They take all the survivor gear and keep it for themselves. And then they form what's known as a career pack. And they hunt down the rest of the tributes. And then at some point in time, once the tributes are hunted down, they turn on each other and kill themselves until only one career is left. And that's usually how the Hunger Games is won. In the next book, you'll see a guy who's called Finnick Odair. He's a career from District 4. Because District 1, 2, and 4 are all the career districts. He won the Hunger Games the normal way, the career way. Basically, he was in the career pack at the end of the thing. He survived against the other careers. And he's pretty much a fucking badass. Like, this motherfucker's a monster. Like, you can't fuck with Finnick. Finnick's a beast. But, you'll get to him later. But what's supposed to happen is the careers are supposed to win that way usually. But, people like Haymitch had a chance to survive because they could survive. And Haymitch was a pretty good fighter. And plus Haymitch was smart. That's actually how he survived the Quarter Quell, because he was smart. But that's pretty much the best way to survive the Hunger Games. So that's why you see Katniss sleeping in a tree all the time. She knows that she needs to tie herself in a tree because she's a fucking hunter. She knows that she needs to stay away from the other, the fucking career pack, because they will just kill her sheer numbers, because that bitch Clove is a beast. And she knows that. And that's how she gains the advantage. That's how she wins. Alright, destroying their food, that plan that she came up with, that's how she fucking wins. So for all of you wondering, why is there so much dead time, that's why. And there's supposed to be a lot of inner monologue that was just left out. I wish it was there, but it wasn't. And it's not too bad. If you never read the book, you can still grasp the movie, even though you don't really know much. But, if you did read the book, you just got a richer experience, really. But you can still understand it if all you see is the movie. I shit you not, you can still understand it. It's a really good film adaptation. But, yeah, that's what happens. Like, that's why Katniss is doing all that shit. It's about survival. Like, the Hunger Games isn't about fighting to the death. Except for the careers. That's what they do. But, other people from other districts have to find other ways to survive. And, the only real complaint I got about is they fucked up some of the emotional parts. They didn't talk about her father. They kind of fucked up Rue's death. They kind of fucked up, a lot of the information on how Katniss is going to win. They drew out the love thing in with her and Peeta. Because she didn't, I'm going to just be honest with you. Peeta loves her. She doesn't like Peeta. Katniss is cold as shit. I shit you. In the book, Katniss is cold as fuck. She does not like Peeta. When the feast happened, she just wanted to save his fucking life. And she didn't wait for Peeta to fall asleep. She drugged him to get him to sleep. because she was getting all the medicine and all that shit, and Peter pretty much figures out later that Haymitch picked her to win. That's why she got all the gifts and he never got shit, because Haymitch figured he had to pick one. But yeah, she doesn't love Peter. There is no real love triangle. I mean, I'm not going to tell you what happens in the end, but she doesn't like him. She drugged him and she went to the feast. They kind of fucked the feast up, but the feast was good. But all in all, The Hunger Games was a good film adaptation. They did a good job, and if you missed the books, don't worry about it. You good. Read the next book or just watch the next movie. They missed a few things, but I can't be mad. If you got any more questions, leave me one in the comment and I'll answer for you. That's it. Like this commentary, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Catch you motherfuckers later.